So I sorta messed up and misinterpreted the final scene in chapter 218, so let's turn that mistake into a happy accident, shall we? And a gigantic thank you to those who respectfully mentioned this in the video. It is because of you I am doing this. So thank you, buddy. Alright, so where did I go wrong in 218? Thankfully, it wasn't like the entire video, just the last couple of pages, so it is specifically the part where both Fami and Lil D get beheaded. So let's reset the stage a bit so we can all get immersed back into the chapter. So Asa Mitaka lays out the plan to Denji. She is going to blow her brains out to allow an opening for Pochita, who is currently in control of Denji's body, to then eat Asa, assuring that Lil D's human extinction plan is successful and puts a stop to Yoru. And for the most part, this works, as while this is happening, Fami gives Denji blood, and Asa blows her noggin right off her shoulders. At the same time, there is a full-out attack on Yoru, cutting her into bits and pieces, which then allows Lil D to nonchalantly pull out Gilly to deal even more damage against Lil Miss Dictator. And it proves to be quite effective, as Gilly slices her into even finer bits and pieces. But in a twist, Pochita turns his back on his allies, or what would seem like his allies, all cutting their heads off, leaving us with this iconic image of Pochita. So, now that we got the actual events laid out correctly, let's discuss why this happened and what it could mean for the future of the series. For the most part, my theories haven't changed much in the grand scheme of things, because those theories didn't really depend on betraying or choosing any one side, but still, there is a lot to analyze here, because Denji for some reason chose to betray these devils, and actually, for a fantastic reason. I largely believe this has to do with what Asa Mitaka told inner child Denji in the alleyways. Asa specifically said that it would be good if Denji chose to let Lil D extinct the earth of humans, and that he would fit in and surely be happy. All the while, Denji pleads with Asa to understand that he doesn't want to kill her or eat her. I believe that what Asa told Denji here, and the feelings that Denji felt in that moment hearing them, Pochita knew, and thus chose right then and there to not allow Yoru to die, to then, in turn, spare her and thus save Asa. And I'm sure you know where I'm going, but Pochita most likely did this because he wouldn't dare do something Denji doesn't want to do. Pochita cannot, based on the contract they signed in Chapter 1, because that would compromise Denji's happiness. In fact, he must help him at all costs achieve his dream of happiness. Another detail that we got to keep track of is the inner child Denji, which is his true self. Now, what does inner child even mean? Well, it basically just means that a person's growth has been emotionally stunted at a young age due to trauma or mental illness. This baggage piles up, and the inner child who got trapped under it all basically had no time to grow up. So it constantly is in your head, calling the shots and playing up your biggest fears and your biggest dreams. And of course, I'm no professional. I can tell you what it is for me, for my own experience with this unique mental health situation that I am probably going to live with forever. And yeah, to make matters worse, it certainly could be something Denji lives with until he dies, because it is not something you really can fix. It is your personality. It just is who you are. Once again, this is just my own experience though. Definitely don't take this as any professional medical advice, because it just isn't. However, this inner child of Denji is his true self, and he holds his deepest fears and desires within it. And if inner child Denji says he doesn't want to do something, then it is the truest form of Denji saying that. So this is Pochita doing what he promised Denji he would do: obey his most inner and truest desire: happiness. This is another reason why right now it is 99.9% guaranteed that Asa Mitaka will not die in Chainsaw Man. It's impossible as of this point, because this chapter is the setup for Denji to start understanding that he is in a true dilemma. Does he protect and save Asa Mitaka, or does he kill Yoru? It also is the first bit of setup for Denji to start reflecting on Asa and grow a real connection with her romantically, however in the freak that may look like at this point. Because up until now, Asa really has been the only one to chase that feeling inside of her, and Denji hasn't even clocked it at all. All he knows thus far is that she seems pretty cool despite being a total pain in the ass to him on their date. Oh yeah, that she's pretty cute and has a gigantic ass. These are examples of Denji following his instincts. you could say, and desires, but none of it, of course, is any kind of proper foundation for a real relationship, let alone a close friendship. So this is one of the more unique aspects of Asa's character, because she is instinctually just trying to protect this boy due to her need to not be useless and repay her dues to him, which that also got me thinking. If you think about it, Asa is a true homie in that sense, because she wants to pay her dues and then pay it forward to those same people. She's sweet and kind, which is... It's just so adorable, and just the kind of dynamic that Denji needs to balance him out a little bit. But she thus far has been alone in this pursuit, and there is a bit of loneliness in that regard that makes me kind of sad for her. Imagine trying this hard to do something for someone and they just don't realize it, but to make it even more complicated, you don't even understand your own feelings or reasonings for why you're doing it. That's kind of frustrating, isn't it? So where do we go from here? Well, I think that is one side down. Now we have Fumiko Mifune to deal with, and then eventually Asa Yoru. Some of the theories from this is that Part 3 could take an interesting approach where Yoru and Denji join in this unholy union where we see Denji just try his best to basically do what Asa did by trying to change Yoru. I don't think this is likely, but it just got me thinking. It popped into my head, and so I decided to write it down into this Google Doc for me to regurgitate to you guys. What I do think is that Part 3 will be all about taking down the empire of Yoru, one pillar at a time. It will be about Denji and Pochita working together with other allies who he sort of sliced their heads off of. Don't worry, water under the bridge. I think just because of the end of this chapter, I do think eventually they will just go to trust Denji anyways. Like, he hasn't even given his reasoning yet, and I think they'll probably be pretty open to what Pochita or Denji has to say. It would also be really cool if Pochita spoke here, and because it would just be vom vagum, vom vom. Because I think Denji will come up with his own plan to follow, becoming a true leader for the first time in the series, possibly. Instead of Denji taking orders or just doing what he is told or following life's shitty decisions that they make for him, Part 3 could be about the reverse happening, which would kind of be a fantastic mirror for Asa Mitaka too, who is struggling with her own autonomy over Yoru and her own autonomy with the war going on inside of her head that happened way before Yoru came into her life. Good news is that this theory is likely very wrong, but I think, however, the core concepts of the theory, like this battle with self-autonomy and taking back yourself to then take back and find your happiness, are things that will most likely stay relevant until the very last moments of the series. So basically, you can't say I'm completely wrong. Pochita slaying his allies is just the first step in this journey, I think. So basically, to answer the question, why did Pochita slay his allies? Well, it is simple, because Denji doesn't want to kill Asa, and Pochita will do whatever Denji says. After all, this chainsaw is dog's best man. Or something. So there it is, the addendum of the century. Probably one of the most important addendums I've had to do for a video like ever. I appreciate those who corrected my madness, so here is the reward for you. I uploaded a 40-minute essay on my main channel, Sea Tactics, on why Denji and Makima cried in the Reze arc. We did everything. We watched the real movie that scene is based on, which is a 1959 Soviet anti-war film. It is so cool. And we even broke down the City Mouse and Country Mouse too, which is also an equally cool part of human culture. So go watch it. It's an incredible video. If you made it this far, drop me some orange hearts and join my Discord server where it is well moderated, it is chill, it has cookies. Otherwise, here is the next Chainsaw Man chapter. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.